Hi everyone, this is another episode of Design with me. My name is Maria Toka, I'm a freelance graphic designer and today we're going to be designing a music festival poster. As you've probably noticed, now the summer is the season of music festivals and I feel a huge FOMO about this because I'm not going to any festival this year and I decided why not to at least design a poster for this. I'm not sure if it's going to help or not, but this is something that I wanted to do for a while. I feel like it's the next level after designing a regular music poster, which is what I've been doing quite a lot, because it has a lot more information in it which you need to organize in a nice balanced way so it wouldn't look too overwhelming and like too much text, and there's just so many of them that are horribly designed for that reason, because you have to put so much text. So yeah, I feel like I'm ready for this challenge, and who knows, maybe if I design enough of them, someday I'm gonna design the actual music festival poster. Today I'm gonna do the artificial one. Instead of Photoshop, I'm gonna be using Kittl. If you don't know this platform, you can use it in your browser. It's another program to edit your design and create whatever you want, pretty much. It's a little bit different, but I just like it because it has a huge library of assets, and for the kind of poster that I want to make, I think they have pretty good variety, but we're gonna check it out. And it doesn't matter where you design, right? As long as it's convenient for you. And luckily Kittl kindly agreed to sponsor this video, so thanks so much for that. Let's get started. So first things first, I'm gonna walk you through my mood board that I prepared in advance. Yeah, this is the kind of the vibe that I want to go for. I'm not exactly sure what style I want to do this time because, as you can see, they are quite different from each other, these images. I really like the idea of this custom typography for the main title. At least distorted font, that would be nice. Distorted text. I don't want to make it like just a regular boring font, if that makes sense. I'm more in a mood for something like this thing, maybe a bit retro, hippie vibe sort of thing. But at the same time, I like these more modern versions of this. So these are not particularly hippie, but they are very imperfect, handwritten or hand-drawn, I would even say, these letters, or this one as well. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna choose at the end. So it's either gonna be something freestyle typography like this, or something a bit more hippie, groovy, retro style. Yeah, these are two main directions. I struggle to choose one over the other. Yeah, probably it's not gonna be something like this, even though I really love it. Maybe I'll take something else from this poster. I don't know, the illustration style, something like that. But for the main title, it has to be maybe something like this. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the color tones, something brown, orange, yellow, or maybe like green even. So yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be vintage 60s, 70s sort of vibe. So these are the general ideas for my poster. And now I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and ask him to give me a precise brief. At first, I want to see the options and then I'm gonna choose what I like the most. So yeah, I asked ChatGPT give me a brief to design a poster for a music festival, and it gave me not what I wanted. So I said, please give me names for the festivals and the music genre, and here is something closer to what I wanted. I need to choose one of these. As you could tell from the mood board, I'm gonna go for this retro vibe. So I feel like indie music would be the best for this. I need to pick something that would be easy to design. So I'm gonna go for 2 words. Well, they are all 2 words, but I don't really like when the words are the same length. It's easier to design when one word is shorter than the other one. At least for me, it's like that. No, Indiverse is one word. That could be nice. Yeah, maybe Indiverse. Overexposed is way too long. Yeah, this is the privilege of doing your personal projects, because you can choose any name you want. And when you work with a client, if the name is too long, you can't do anything about it. You have to design it in a less nice way than you could, just because the word is not easy to work with. So if you don't have a real client yet, take advantage of that. Distortion days, solar bloom. I like sundown sessions. Sundown is slightly longer than sessions, and I like that it has to do something with the sun, and I'm imagining in my head some pictures of sunset or some beautiful landscapes. Sunset, indie, right, golden hour, gradients, lens flares. I'm not sure that I'm gonna use gradients, but maybe I will, but not lens flares. It's not that vibe that I'm going for. It's not really retro, but I like the name, so I'm gonna go with sundown sessions. I already created an artboard in Kittl, so I'm gonna add text, all the text that I just generated in ChatGPT. Then later I will ask it to give me more text, like all the lineup, all the information that has to be on a real poster, like the dates, the address, contact information, maybe some other promo, like tagline, something like that. And here it is, festival poster, text, subheading, an indie music festival at golden hour. Yeah, that's a nice thing to add, because sometimes it's not clear what it is just from the title. So I'm gonna quickly add all the text that I need, or maybe not all, but at least the name, the date, and location. These are headliners. Then the website. I think most festivals have it. Well, let's just check if that's true or not. And so they have a website, social media handle, dates. Probably this is the address, Pier 80. Yeah, and the main thing is just the lineup. Okay, I'm gonna add Instagram, and that's enough so far. And then later I will add the entire lineup. But the first thing I want to do, I want to choose the font for the main title, because I think this is the biggest factor for success. Like, if I happen to find a really nice font and I know how to pull it off, then the poster is gonna look good. So let's just go to Kittl's font library and check what they have to offer. I really like that they divided all the fonts by the style. Vintage, black letter, futuristic. I need something vintage, but not any vintage. Something like psychedelic or hippie, this kind of vintage. Maybe something like this. This is pretty good. Maybe sessions, it's a bit difficult to read, but sundown is really nice. And the fonts that I like, and I want to save them before I move on to try next one, I can just bookmark them, and I can go back to them later. So I'm creating like a short list of the fonts that I like, and then I'll be choosing only between those few options. This is really nice as well. Okay, I'm gonna probably speed up this process, because I don't think you need to save time on choosing a font. This is a pretty important step. Alright, I have a short list of my favorite fonts for the main title, and this is this one, or this one, or maybe this one. I think they all look very retro, that groovy style that I was going for. I just need to choose. I think this one is so elegant. It's a little bit too thin. I'm concerned about legibility. Even though it's a title, it kind of has to be decorative. It's more important that it's decorative and eye-catching rather than readability. Might go with this one. And also, I can add a stroke to make it a little bit bigger. So let's try that. Or I can do it only one frame at a time. Okay, text shadow. Yeah, I guess that's where the shadow is. Transfer just happened. No. Oh, that's because I had shadow. This one is nice as well, but I wanted to try just a regular shadow. Actually, this effect, that like an illusion of 3D, is also really cool, but not with this font. This font is way too thin for that. I think, yeah, that's not what I need right now. I just need a regular stroke. I think it's this one. Block shadow. Yeah, outline width. Something like that. That would be a nice idea, to make a stroke of a different color. I think that really aligns with that retro aesthetic. That's what I'm gonna do. So offset 0 and the width is this. Okay, and maybe the color of the text would be lighter. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. Let's try this for now. Okay, another thing that I want to try is dividing these two words by placing like a background behind it. Just a regular rectangle. Yeah, I think I saw it somewhere. I would need to invert the colors, something like this. They would look too similar, like these two lines, and I would like to make it a little bit more visually interesting. It's a shame that I can't stretch the font. I really like stretching, but I can distort it. As far as I know, there is a transformation, different types that you can explore. You can even make but that's not exactly what I need. I want to distort the shape, so I need distortion. I want to make this hippie style or something like this. And this one I would like to just stretch. Let's see if this tool allows me just to stretch it. Yeah, if I'll just drag all these points, this kind of stretching, that looks more visually interesting, shall we say. Next thing, what I'm gonna do is to choose some interesting graphics from their library, which was the initial reason why I wanted to create it in Kittl, because they have quite a lot of these popular styles, and I think this retro hippie style is kind of popular now. Yeah, especially for music festivals, of course. Just, I'm not sure exactly what keywords I need to use, probably. Okay, let's start with hippie, and then maybe I will come up with something else. And I'm gonna choose what could look suitable in this poster specifically. I really like this one. Yeah, I'm just trying it out. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna use it. The sun, that's pretty relevant. What else? Maybe this one. I think that the font is too thin and elegant for this kind of graphics. It's a bit different style. Let's see what else they have. Maybe something groovy. Yeah, I really like this line. Maybe I could use it as a frame, something like this. Mushrooms, concerned that they may look a bit too cartoonish for this font. Don't want it to look too simple and digital. We need something more analog, nuanced, groovy. Okay, what else? Retro, maybe 60s. Retro is too broad. Maybe they have Art Nouveau frames. Something floral, maybe bold flourishes. Yeah, I don't mind flourishes, but I don't want them to look like Baroque or like a really old antique style. It has to be more Art Nouveau or closer to psychedelic. Psychedelic originated from Art Nouveau. They are related. That's not this. This is way too old-fashioned. So let's see what else they have. Art Nouveau. Alright, that's a bit too complex. They're really beautiful, but it's a bit difficult to implement. Like all the flourishes of the stems, but it's hard to combine it with a bunch of text, so I don't know. I'm gonna keep it just in case if I want to use it later, but I'm not sure. I would like to find something simpler. For example, something like this I think would work pretty nicely. Yeah, because I want to support this arc shape, I'm gonna use these florals as an upper part of the frame. Yeah, this looks pretty elegant, so I'm not sure how I can turn it into something a bit more 60s. Okay, another thing I need to think about is the color scheme. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave it black and white, because color scheme is also gonna help me make it more retro, like in that hippie style. Yeah, maybe something brown would be nice, and the background should be not white as well. It has to be maybe beige or pink. Let me try. I'm gonna put it. How do I do this? Set it as a background, and the color has to be light. Oh yeah, it's on the background. Okay, I think I'm going with a safe option today, because this is the sort of a color scheme that I usually go for most of my posters. But I'm gonna show you the feature in Kittl, like the new one, that is gonna help me experiment a little bit more. But more on that later. Let me finish the poster first. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust the layout. So let's just try a different font for this text, but obviously I need more text for the lineup, of course. Yeah, I would assume that has to be something serif. Maybe, what could it be? Adobe Garamond, Caslon, Baskerville. Yeah, something like classic. I think this is pretty nice, but we need different size of this text because these are headliners. They need to be like way bigger than everything else. Let's make sure they're bigger. Okay, something like that. And now I think I'm ready to add more text, the most challenging part. Oh yeah, I just noticed that it's only 1 day festival. I need 3 days and it's gonna be 3 columns. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to adjust the brief for that. More text using the same font, which is pretty classic. And the thing is, it looks a bit too classic to me. It's not really 60s hippie style, apart from the title, probably. Like if we remove the title, it would look like it's from the 19th century or something, or the beginning of the 20th, but like not that kind of vibe that I'm going for. So I think that I need to change the font for this body text. Maybe like it shouldn't be that official. I want something a bit more rough, but at the same time probably serif. Still, I love this one, Impossibilium. It looks just like what I wanted, to be honest. It's so like rough and imperfect and looks like something old. That's exactly what I want. So I'm gonna apply it to all the small text that I have here, changing the color, not white, obviously it should be pink. Yeah, today I'm not generous with the color. I'm going for very monochrome. Yeah, the thing that I don't like is the way how headliners are placed. They need to be as a part of each column, so we know when each headliner is playing. That's how they usually do it. So I'm gonna rearrange the text quickly, something like this. And I think I need to highlight the days of the week a bit better, because now they look almost similar to the lineup. So I would use something like this sort of a background behind it. So I would invert the colors that way, something like this. And also I have a place for some graphics. I would like some landscape. These mountains are pretty nice. Something like this, but it's not really visible on this background. I just found a perfect graphics for this, perfect landscape, because it has like very simplified image of mountains plus sun, which is exactly what I need. But I definitely feel like the font is too overpowering. I would like to make it simpler. Let me find another font, something thinner. Yeah, I think this one is very elegant, but at the same time kind of quirky, how contrasting it is. So yeah, I think I like it. And I'm gonna shift the days of the week. Yeah, something like this. And another thing that came to my mind is to make this rectangle a bit less rigid by making the edges wavy. Yeah, I just found just a simple wavy line, made it the same color as the background. Okay, it's almost done. Maybe just a couple of finishing touches, maybe a couple of more graphics, maybe some, yeah, I added a couple of more stars and some little elements. And I'm pretty happy with it. Now I'm going to show you the feature that I'm really excited to try. I'm going to ask Kittl to come up with other color combination ideas for me. So the way you do it, you just click here at your artboard and choose a smart board. So they are linked together, but here you just need to describe how you want to edit this. I want another color combination of retro hippie style. Maybe psychedelic would be the right word for this. Only 2 or 3 colors. Generate. Yeah. In the meantime, I'll make another smart board for maybe slightly different prompt. Another color combination. Retro 3 colors maximum. Retro 60s. 1960s. I'll specify generate. The other two prompts that I want to try is to apply textures and to make it look a bit more old and retro. So I'm gonna generate that. And another two, oh, by the way, I haven't told you, here's our first color combination idea. This is pretty monochrome, but I really like it, to be honest. It looks like this very cool style. So if this festival would be somewhere in the forest, I think that would be really appropriate. So yeah, I really like that. I think it aligns with the style, this kind of whimsical, and as you can see, it changes a little bit of everything. Like it makes the entire composition look a bit more like harmonized, and it even changes the fonts a little bit. Yeah, I really like the creativity of this tool. Okay, this is the second color combination. It's a little bit too bright for me, I would say. Okay, let's not say that. Psychedelic tones, and let's generate again. Oh, and this is a version of more rough style, which is what I asked it to do. Yeah, this is pretty cool, and maybe I'm gonna regenerate it just to see what other ideas it has in that regard. And two more types of generations of smart boards here I'm gonna use is to put this poster on a Mockups smart board. So here's the prompt I'm gonna use. Put this on a t-shirt mockup, the back side, generate, and another mockup would be for a tote bag. So this is another color combination it came up with. I think it's pretty nice, looks very retro. And in terms of the mock-ups, yeah, this is for the t-shirt and for the tote bag. I really like the tote bag, and like all the environment, I think it's so suitable for this one. Like that would convince me to possibly buy something like this, or at least to go to that festival. Then later I generated another t-shirt mock-up, which is very similar, but I like this one more because the hat just looks more fun than that one. I love it. I think I'm gonna go with this one. And another variation of this rough texture and making it look more retro, all the effects, and you see how uneven everything is. It actually looks like an old vintage print. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the result. I love it. So yeah, I'm probably gonna play around with this feature more. You can generate some other objects based on your original design. You can say something like, okay, now generate me merch for this poster, not only as tote bag or a t-shirt, but like a little pin. And then obviously it's not going to put the entire design on a little pin. You can specify, like, simplify it and make it consist only of the title or like the most important things, something like that. So you can pretty much design the entire branding out of just one design. Or you can modify the dimensions, like if you designed a poster but you also need a horizontal banner, you also need a square picture, or for whatever dimensions you need, it can modify it for you. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with the result. I'm gonna put all my favorite final results pictures from this project, and yeah, let me know which ones you like the most. This feature is free, and yeah, you can try Kittl for free. There are just some elements that are paid, so you can consider subscription if you want, but it's not that necessary. Like, just try it and see what your most favorite features are gonna be. All right, that was my design for a music festival poster. Let me know what you think of it, whether you like it or not, what kind of color combination you prefer that Kittl suggested me. Also, as promised, I've got a really good offer for you in terms of Kittl subscriptions. Like, you can try it for free, obviously, but if you want any paid plan, you can use my promo code to get 25% off of all Kittl plans. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, isn't it? And also you can try Kittl Flow, this feature that I showed you with smart boards. You can try it for free and see if you like it. thanks again Kittl for sponsoring this video. I really enjoyed designing this poster, and I feel like now it's a lot easier to develop one poster into the entire campaign, and it would look like a strong project to add to your portfolio, so keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more design content. I'm posting pretty regularly. Check out my other Design With Me videos, and see you guys next time. Bye!